Hello my friends, welcome to Afya Trail. Today we are going to learn how to prepare fermented black tea at home, which is commonly known as kombucha. All you need are 5 ingredients, which include clean water, sugar, black tea, kombucha starter tea, and SCOBY. SCOBY is an abbreviation of symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and is thought to have originated in China for thousands of years ago. There are 3 benefits of consuming kombucha, which include 1. Kombucha is a probiotic drink. It contains beneficial bacteria that promote and support your gut health. 2. Kombucha contains acids such as acetic acid and lactic acid, which also support your gut health and the overall health of your body. 3. Kombucha is a form of black tea, and black tea contains polyphenols such as catechins. Polyphenols play a role of antioxidant, meaning that it helps to remove oxidative stress, inflammation, and other toxins in your body. In addition, recent studies have shown that polyphenols act as prebiotic, which means they are food for your beneficial gut bacteria. Here we have clean water. I prefer using filtered water. Sugar. This sugar is unrefined whole, which is otherwise called jaggery, or in Swahili, sukari nguru. Black tea bags. I prefer Kericho Gold. Kombucha starter. This brown liquid that you see here is the kombucha starter, and also SCOBY. And when you want to store SCOBY, you just put it inside a kombucha starter, and then in a glass jar. It will not spoil because the acidic environment is very harsh. No harmful bacteria that can grow there. For successful fermentation, you need to mix water and kombucha starter in the right ratio. So you need 7 cups of clean water against 1 cup of kombucha starter, half cup of sugar, 4 tea bags. The SCOBY feeds on the sugar and black tea caffeine and other components in the black tea. Those 2 are necessary for the SCOBY to have the food and ferment the black tea. So if you are worried about consumption of sugar, most of this sugar will have been eaten by the end of fermentation process, which will take about 5 to 10 days. I have some hot water that I have boiled, so I'll measure 2 cups. And then here I'll get 4 tea bags. So these are 4 tea bags. I'm going to infuse them in this hot water. It will take about 10 minutes for proper infusion of black tea into this hot water. So since we have 2 cups here, I'm going to add 5 cups in this jar, which we are going to use to ferment. 2, 'Those are 5 cups. It's easier to just use a little bit amount of water, infuse your black tea there, then you can mix with the other cold water, so it will not take long for me to wait until it cools down to room temperature. Now 10 minutes are over, so I'll just remove these tea bags. Here now I have my mixture. In our language we call it turugi. I'm going now to add half a cup of sugar, about half a cup, and stir the mixture so that the sugar can dissolve. I can see all the sugar has dissolved. We are going to mix this mixture. We are going to give it some time, 30 minutes or so, for it to cool down to room temperature. If you put SCOBY in hot water, you are going to kill it. So my black tea, it is at room temperature. Cleanliness is very important, so you need to ensure everything is clean, your hands are clean. I'm going to remove all these SCOBYs. There are 2 layers here, so these are 2 SCOBYs here. One has grown on top of the other. You can see some layers here. You can separate. This is now a culture of bacteria and yeast. So I have got about 4 or more SCOBYs. If you just put SCOBY in a fresh black tea and you have not added any starter kombucha, the environment is not acidic and it will not be able to start fermentation process. So I'm going to measure only 1 cup and I'm going to add it. This mixture now is a little bit acidic and is going to allow fermentation to start. I'm going to add it. So after I put it, it can float, it can sink, it doesn't matter. My SCOBY is floating. This fermentation process requires oxygen, so you're not going to cover with a lid. You just need to put a cloth to prevent insects entering. All you need is a cloth on top or a paper towel. Then with a rubber band, you can secure this paper towel so that it doesn't fall. The more you ferment, the more most of the sugar will be consumed by the fermentation process. So it all depends on how you want it to taste. I'm going to have this kombucha ready in the 10th day. Every time you prepare a new batch of kombucha, a new SCOBY will start developing, because as it consumes the sugars and caffeine in the black tea together with oxygen, more SCOBY is going to grow and fill the top part. And keep on checking. If there is any growth of mold, then it means fermentation is not occurring. These other SCOBYs that I'm not using, I'll return them in my starter. It's good to put the date. You remember, if you have forgotten the number of days you want it to ferment, you can always check the date. Ready for fermentation. In about 7 to 10 days, our kombucha will have properly fermented and ready for consumption. The most interesting bit is that we are going to ferment the kombucha in another second fermentation stage and flavor it with ginger to form a carbonated drink. Meanwhile, if you'd like to learn how to ferment your own cabbage at home, check the next video here that I've shared with you. Thank you for watching.